Hey, welcome back everybody to another episode of Catching with Craig. As you can see, we're starting this episode out in my garage. And the reason being is because this one's a little bit different. As you've seen in a previous episode, I found 3 baits, and I'll roll that footage right now. Alright guys, so look what I found here. Well first of all, a lot of braided line that I'm going to take home with me. But the most important thing, if I can just cut it out of here, is a little rattle trap. Well, would you look at here, I was walking back upstream, I looked down, and I noticed there's another bait hanging from the tree. I'm gonna bring this whole thing in if I can, and I'm gonna get this line all out of here. You guys see what I see here? Look at this. There's a bait flopping around right there. You can see it. Catch it real quick. Looks like a Keitech. It is a Keitech. So as you saw, I picked up 3 baits during that process while I was fishing in my last video with the intent of using them in this video. I put them in my backpack and I brought them home, and unfortunately the first one I'm going to bring up was that Keitech on the little round ball. As you can see, it got catch out in my backpack and it got torn apart. And I don't have this version of an easy shiner. To be honest, I don't even have any easy shiners on hand at this time. So what I do have to try to make something similar to that is I am going to be using just a normal Keitech swing impact with, well, I guess this is a swing impact fat with just a normal jig head. So in this case, what I had here that I picked up, if I can just get it out of where it fell, was a regular round ball jig head with a Keitech easy shiner. Now this person actually had it rigged upside down, you can see, but that's not relevant to this. So I'm going to try to mimic that same bait to see if what they were using would work. And I'm going to use just a normal round ball with a Keitech swing impact, because again, I just don't have those easy shiners, and this is the closest thing I have to something that's similar to that in a swim bait. With that being said, I also picked up this, what I believe is a storm bait, but we talked about it in the video and it's ripped real bad. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to just hit this with a little bit of super glue, and I'm going to try to fix this bait right here, right now, glue this back together, let it sit, and then I'm going to take this bait out as well. There we go. See if I can just put it back together basically. And I'm going to take this bait out as well. And ooh, this one's actually ripped in a couple places. Let's give it a little mend there. So I'm going to hang this on my wall here, my little shelf that I have created. And I'm going to let that one also dry up so we can take that one out as well. The last bait you're going to see was this Rapala, depends on how you say it, Rip and Wrap 05, which is just a miniature version of a little rattle trap. So you can see this one's all tangled up in a mess and disasters, and I was trying to get some of this line off, but the major point is that the hooks, if you can see that, are really bent pretty bad. So I've got to get those replaced, and I've got to get this line all taken off, and it's gonna take a little bit. But I've got a trick. I'm hoping that with the magic of YouTube I can nice, look at that, brand new hooks, and I got all that line taken off, so that's pretty sweet, right? Man, this stuff is nice. I wish the rest of life was this easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to take out these 3 baits that I just showed you. The Keitech Swing Impact Fat, that's a little bit bigger, not the Easy Shiner, but it's just as close as I have to that bait since I destroyed the first one. The little Storm swim bait, I'm going to take that one out as well, and we're going to take out this little rattle trap. and we're gonna try to see if we can use what we found on the river the last time we were out to see if those guys were on the right pattern when they were throwing these baits when they lost them the first time. So then I guess I'm gonna hang this back up here, and the last thing we have to do is get ready to go fishing. So let's get dressed real quick. Wait a second, let's see if I can do one more thing. Well, there we go. That was so much easier than getting changed. So let's go hit the water and catch some fish. All right, guys, we are back. I did bring my pack just in case this goes badly and I immediately lose both of these baits. Like I said in the last video you saw, this river is sticky, unfortunately, so occasionally you'll have a bad day, and when you have a bad day, you're gonna lose every bait immediately. When you have a good day, things seem to go well. So I guess it's kind of hit or miss. Neither here nor there. We are going to make our way back through this like bamboo-ish stuff, which is kind of a pain in the neck, down this gorge and back up the other side. And then the river is right down the next hill. This bamboo stuff, whoops, sorry about the mic, got bumped. This bamboo stuff gets worse the closer you get back. So we will trek through here and I will see you once we're at the river. All right, we are at the final trek here. Already at first glance, I can tell you we got a lot of rain 2 or 3 days ago, and the river's up like 4 feet from where I was fishing last time. I was able to walk all the way out here past these bushes, and I was fishing standing on the other side of those bushes at some point. And this log is where I filmed my outro, using this log as the mount for my camera. And now all of this is gone. I actually had my bag sitting on these sticks here. So the river's up quite a bit. Sometimes that faster moving water, the dirty water, that'll mess things up. So now I gotta find a new spot to set that and that rod, and I'm gonna throw this Rapala. So we are ripping a Rip and Wrap 05. Sorry about the wind already. I'm going to try to use this bait that I found on this bank. The only thing different is I've changed the hooks out because the hooks were bad. They were bent up pretty bad from the previous owner of this bait. And I'm gonna see if he was on the right track using this bait to catch bass. Here we go. Hopefully, I don't lose this immediately because, like I've said in the past, this river is sticky. So when you are out here, especially during periods of high water, there's a ton of logs and stuff floating down. This can be an absolute nightmare to fish. Actually, I just looked up and there's a fisherman on the opposite side of the bank fishing as well. So that's kind of fun. Oh, there's one. There we go. Oh. Oh. Ah. Whoop. Come on. No, 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 no. There we go. All right, guys. So this fish started as a rattle trap that I found on the bank that I swapped the hooks out on. So that just goes to show you guys, you absolutely can turn trash on your local bank, your local pond, things that people leave behind or break off. Go grab them. You can definitely catch fish. Let's keep this up for a little bit here. Next cast. Just caught that first smallie. Gonna fish this bait a little bit longer. See if I can get some more reactions, because that would be a lot of fun. If I lose it, I lose it. I mean, it is what it is. But we're gonna swoop. Bumped it at shore. Or I bumped that tree there. Was all jazzed up. There comes the sun. It's cold out today, 50 degrees. I mean, cold by comparison to the last time I was here when it was 68 and I was in a t-shirt. Now I'm trying, you always think of a rattle trap as a grass style bait. You want it ripping off the top of the grass. It's hard here with no grass to use this bait. It's also difficult because I don't want to be bumping into the trees and all of the everything at the bottom of this river. So I'm having a difficult time. I'm trying to almost do a yo-yo pattern, but with the current being up as well, it is making it extremely difficult to fish a bait like this. However, we did see that it does work. You can see from my previous video, guys, this is where I was stepping over when I got snagged, and I actually walked in front of these trees. Now in front of those trees is like 3 foot, 4 foot of water, and there's a creek here that wasn't here. Well, it was just a trickle the last time I was here. So you can tell the water is significantly up here. I was walking in front of all of these branches that are in the water, all these little stumps and stuff. I was way down in front of this stuff when I was walking the last video. So I'm gonna give a couple more casts here, and then I am gonna swap to that storm bait, that white little swim bait thing with the paddle tail, and see if they want it slower. Maybe I just got lucky to get that one on the rattle trap. So, quick story about these pliers. I'm sure you might have seen them in my last video, but if not, these pliers I found on the riverbank, this river, for the Susquehanna River, when I was like 9 years old. And I have had these pliers ever since. I've been fortunate not to lose them. I have left them places on accident before and went back and they were still there. And now I am going to cut off this rattle trap and we are going to go to a storm swim bait. So we're going to tie this on now and slow right down. Now the water's fast. This bait is pretty light, so I don't know how well this will work. I'm going to try to give it a cast up stream a little bit, and then after I cast it upstream, let it drift down and finally hit bottom, hopefully in that slower moving water, or right on the edge of that slower moving water. Now, the only modification I made on this one is I did glue its head back together because it was pretty beat up. Hook still the same. All right, here we go. First cast with the storm bait, or what I believe is a storm bait. I'm pretty confident it is. If I'm wrong, correct me in the comments. Oh, a little bit heavier than I thought it was. I think this is like a 3/8. So I might actually end up getting hung up with this a little bit. It fell right out of that current pretty quick, so think I underestimated how light this was. Let's get another cast out there a little bit further, see how the current handles it, and then bump this along the bottom. I caught somebody else's line that has a red crankbait on it, but I can't get out to it without getting soaked, and I can't seem to break their line. It gets too deep too quick. I'd like to get that, but I don't think I'm gonna be able to. God, I can reel right down to it, but that line that's on, oh, was stiff. Well, that's the end of the storm swim bait. When the river lowers about 3 feet, 5, 6 feet maybe, I'll drag a bait out there and pick that one up. And I'll get them both back. Until then, on to the next bait. All right, guys, bait number 3 is that Keitech swim bait, green pumpkin color on a little jig head. We're gonna give this a shot, see how this works out. There's one, little guy. Whoop, lost it, but he did come on that Keitech. So finally, a little bite, basically on shore on that Keitech. So I'm gonna count that as caught. I mean, I could have forced him in if I really wanted to, but he was just a small mouth, maybe 10 to 12 inches. He must have chased that all the way in because he hit it right at where the break, or the drop off was. They might be hanging right on this edge. There's one. Oh, finally, guys. Oh, that's a nice smallie too. Come on, stay on. Woo! Ah. Boy, there we go. Finally got it on that Keitech. Perfect. There he goes. Let's get a good look at that guy. That's a nice smallie, guys. Finally got one dragging on that little Keitech. I'm happy to say that's like a high one, maybe 2-pounder. It's not a bad fish. All right, let's get this guy back. Maybe they're just starting to turn on. Maybe I was here too early. Let's get this guy going. Water's chilly. There he goes. So I have you guys rested on a tree right now. I would say that fishing what you found between the rattle trap and what would have been a swim bait is a viable method. It was fun. I caught 2 on the swim bait. I caught 1 on the rattle trap that I found and replaced the hooks on. But I really didn't get the action that I got the other day. I broke off the storm bait, didn't catch a fish on that one, so I was unable to succeed there. But what I'm really wondering now is, was it the bait that I was using, that smoke, purple, green flake tube, that was causing all the bites earlier? Or is it just the change in temperature? So I want to give this bait about 30 minutes, just like I did with the others. 30 minutes each until I broke that storm one off. That storm one might have only been on there for about 20-25 minutes, I think, before I finally snapped that off on that crankbait that you saw. So I'm going to give this a shot, and we're going to give this another 30 minutes, see if I can catch a couple fish. If I can get more than 2 in 30 minutes, I'm going to say it might have been that bait I was using. Let's see. All right, guys, back in action. 30 minutes starting now with the tube that worked really successfully last time I was here, 1 week ago today, versus those other baits that I was struggling on today. So let's see how we can do. So I walked upstream, guys, and then I walked back downstream. And you're never gonna guess what I caught again. But since I caught it, it's actually grown a little bit. And now oh no. I thought I broke it, but I didn't. I can still see them floating there. Let's see if I can re-hang up on those. There we go. That didn't take much. All right. Attempt number 2. Ha. There we go. Ha-ha. That was a lot more effort than I wanted it to be, but I just got rid of some more line out of the river, and I've recovered a few more lures. The river taketh, the river giveth back. Alright guys, well I'm going to wrap this video up here. As you saw, I just wrapped that stick around this mess of lures. It looks like there's 3 KV or Strike King 1.5s in here, maybe. Definitely one in a sexy shad and a fire tiger craw or something there. And then this is an RC2, which I'm assuming is a Rick Clun. And then you can see my bait. So I wrapped up all that line. I'm gonna take that home with me, get that out of the river as well. I'm gonna take home my my rattle trap and my Keitech there. But really, 3 fish. I got 1 on the rattle trap right to start. Thought it was gonna be a good day. Didn't work out that way. Didn't get any on the storm bait. Got 2, dropped 1 at shore on the Keitech, and then I got nothing on my tube. So that just goes to show you it actually was the day, not the bait in this case. It was just a slow day. That cold front's got them all messed up, and there's nothing you can do about that. But I really appreciate you watching. I'm gonna link all this in the description below, so if you want any of this bait, any of these baits or anything, please just click the drop down. You'll see the links. You can pick them up right there. I link everything to Amazon. And otherwise, if you hit that drop down, so hit that subscribe button while you're there. And until next time, just roll that music.